Hey, how's it going? So my name is Joseph Holguin. I'm going to be talking to you today about getting leads from a bot for your company. So I'm the co-founder of smartloop.ai. We're a chatbot and live chat platform. We just launched live chat on Monday. So now if the bot fails, which it probably will in most cases for everybody, now a live agent could come in and take over the conversation. I have 10 years digital marketing experience. And you might think, well, this dude looks young. I'm 34, so that makes me 24 when I started. And I was just thinking about it last night, is like, that's when Facebook pages started rolling out for businesses, like around that time. So I got into it because my family, they grow spices in New Mexico, like red chili, green chili, stuff like that. They're selling them locally. I started doing these Facebook pages. And then we started selling chili like all over the country with like people internationally wanting to buy chili just because we started creating these communities. And that was through Facebook pages, and it's now probably 10 years ago. 5 years product, we had a previous startup in the crowdfunding space, and we've been working on SmartLoop for about 3 years now. So SmartLoop, like I said, we're an end-to-end platform for bots, plus now live chat. And the beauty of that is that you can easily create a bot. You don't have to write code. You don't have to do these crazy setups of like Azure or Amazon Web Services. And then you can just click a button and you can go to Facebook. So this is a bot that we did with National Geographic. These are some of our customers. We work with Coca-Cola, AOL, National Geographic, some government agencies, and University of People. And that's who I'm going to talk about today. So they wanted to enroll more students using Facebook Messenger. So University of the People is the company that used our platform, and this was recommended to them by the Facebook education team. They reached out. The Facebook education team works with University of the People, and University of the People is like, hey, we want to do a Facebook Messenger bot. We have this problem. We need somebody to help us. So they made a recommendation to us, and we were able to help them create the bot. So University of People, just a little bit of background on them. They're founded in 2009. They're a nonprofit, tuition-free, U.S. accredited university, and I think it's like really cheap to get a bachelor's. I think you can get a bachelor's degree for like $2,000 to $3,000, which is really cheap compared to traditional universities. And they have students. They have around 20,000 students in 200 countries. So their goal was to enroll more students. And when Facebook reached out to us, they said, hey, we have this partner, they have this problem, but we need to do this in 3 weeks. And if you think about rolling out a solution, typically it's going to take a lot longer, maybe 3 months. So we were tasked with helping them enroll more students and get it launched and working so that they can get some data and prove it out for their Facebook FA conference. So we were able to do that in 3 weeks versus 3 months. And I'll go into more on how we did that. So University People, their goal was to enroll more students. The problem was, since it's an online university, they're maybe having a touch point with somebody for the very first time. There's a lot of education that comes into it. They have to answer the first part of like who they are, what is online degree, what degrees they offer, how much does it cost, what is the process of actually getting accepted. So it's a lot of communication that needs to happen there. And this was the problem that they had. They had people from all over the world coming to them on Facebook Messenger, and they would ask simple questions like, what degree programs do you offer? And that's a simple question, right? But for the volume that they were getting, being that it is a worldwide university, they were getting questions 24/7. Something like this would take about 3 to 4 hours just to get a reply sometimes. So if you think about it and you have 3 questions, probably looking like 8 to 12 hours before you actually can get some type of response and some general consensus of what the university is about. Then they would try to push you to their website, and then from there on the website, then you would have to poke around and find requirements before you could even set an application, right? So that was a major problem. And I've experienced this firsthand when we started talking with them. I went to their Facebook page, asked a question. 4 hours later, I got a reply. It was just a long, like, canned response. And then I had to go to the website and try to figure it out. So it was a very broken system. So our solution was a messenger chatbot to educate and qualify potential students. In this case, they're leads. We don't like to say leads, but they're leads. So we created a chatbot for them. You click Get Started. There's an introduction about the university. It tells them, okay, this is where online university. We set the expectation right off the bat. This is a chatbot. You're not talking to a real person. You're talking to a chatbot. And then we ask them, are you a student? Have you been a student? Or are you interested in being a student? So right off the bat, we're already qualifying the user. We're actually setting these parameters around the user so that we can serve specific type of content to them. If we know they're already an existing student and they have questions, then we can route them to a different agent inside of the university to answer their questions. Or if they're a new student, then they can get routed to admissions to answer questions. But as you can see from the lead qualification, right off the bat, we start to ask these questions. Are you a student? Have you been a student? Are you interested in being a student? So at that point, we're starting to build a profile on the user. And we can use this dynamically inside of the bot to direct them to certain types of content, or in the future, we can serve other types of marketing material or other types of content based on that. So the bot has been live for about 3 months now. They've already had 40,000 students come into the bot. And between the bot and the user, there's already been over 1 million messages. So these are people coming to the bot, learning about the university, learning about their degree programs, going through this lead qualification step. And I'll go into more what that is. But there's a lot of steps in there, and that's where the bot really helps to facilitate the lead qualification. So out of those 40,000 people that came into the bot, 51% of them actually started an application. And it was hard for them to tell us exactly what that was before the bot, but we're thinking it's probably 3 to 5% of the people that actually came into Messenger without anything, went 12, 15 hours of conversation there, and then went to an application. Now, we're seeing 51% of the people actually go through the bot, they get through all the information, the lead qualification steps, and they go to start filling out the application. So of that 51%, 20% of the people actually completed an application. So think of this. This is 20% of those people are going through the bot, learning about the university, filling out the application to the university without even talking to a person at all. So this drastically removed any of the friction that there was before with learning about education and the requirements and getting qualified. And this reduced their ad spend on Facebook for leads by 62%. I think previously they were running Facebook ads and they would just push them to the website page, and then they would poke around there, and then you can go to application. So this drastically reduced that. And this was paired with the send to messenger ads, which I'm sure most of you guys have seen. A lot of companies aren't doing them correctly right now with connecting to a bot or even using a bot. But when you pair the send to messenger ads with the bot and you do it correctly, it's very seamless. And you can just take people from the newsfeed straight into a bot without any restrictions at all. So let's talk about how we actually did this in 2 to 3 weeks. And that was a stressful time for us because a lot of us on our team, we have the platform. Anybody can sign up at smartloop.ai and use our platform. But we also provide some type of service sometimes where we help people understand how to build the bots. So we worked with them to build the bot. At this point, they manage everything themselves, content changes, flow changes, everything. But initially, we kind of helped them do that. So these were our steps to launch. So first, it was understanding the user flow and content. So for them, the user journey was, I'm a new student. I come into the bot. I don't know anything about the university, so let's tell them about the university. The next step is, okay, now you know about the university. What type of degrees are you interested? So they offer business administration, computer science, some health services degrees. Okay, so tell us what type of stuff you're interested in. Is it an associate's or a bachelor's that you're interested in? Okay, so there's different content based on that, and we're logging this and building the profile. And then once you've told us, okay, I'm interested in a bachelor's in computer science, then now the lead qualification part. So for them, as most universities, you have to have a GED or high school diploma. you have to, for them specifically, since it's worldwide, you have to have like an English proficiency, and you have to be a certain age. And there's other requirements on top of that. So for us, it was really defining, okay, this is the initial content, and then also what are the lead qualification steps that we have to verify and route a person based on who they are. So for the user journey, we initially just started with just pen and paper, and we started mocking out, okay, this is a start, this is the onboarding, this is where we learn about them, and then based on that, if they're interested in the degree programs, routing them to there. So a lot of the first work was just really mapping out what that user experience was looking like. And then from there, we were able to come back and say, okay, this is the type of content that we have to write for these sections. This is the type of supporting content from computer science. And then once we had that, then getting into the lead qualification steps. So the lead qualification steps, there was a lot of work that came into this where we really had to understand what is the university, or in anybody else's case, like what are the steps or information that you need to collect. So for us, it was like, are you a student? Yes or no. That's very right off the bat. Okay, the second one was like, okay, are you interested in what degree? Computer science. A subset of that is, are you interested in associate's or bachelor's degree? And based on that, we were able to route people to, there's different pricings based on that, there's different requirements based on those types of degrees. And then once we were able to do the high-level degree information, then we really got into the lead qualification. And I know some of this lead qualification is kind of, it's a little bit more complex than just a normal business where you would just collect like maybe company size, location, maybe some technical requirements, but essentially it would be the same thing depending on the business. You just have to really identify what are the key lead qualification steps that you need to do. So based on this, we're able to build inside of the platform, we're able to build like a user profile based on this. So we know that this person, and I just pulled this directly last week, I knew this person was interested in computer science, they wanted an associate, and they were not a student. So initially when they started the conversation, they went through the bot, and they told us this information, and based on this information, it was able to create this kind of custom user experience to explain to them about the university, the cost of the university, and then initially get to the application process. But we can still use this in the future to reach out to them about upcoming programs. Maybe they got their associates, and now we can say, hey, now it's time to get your bachelor's, and we can send them a message. Or, for example, there's a lot of students that come into the bot, and they are students already, so all this new student information is irrelevant to them. So if they tell us, like, I'm already a student, I have questions about a class, or I have something like this, then we're able to route them to that part of the university to answer those types of questions. So it's very key to kind of, from the very beginning of your bot, is to understand, okay, one, if it's just lead generation, okay, what do I need to know for lead generation? But if other people are using the bot, like existing students, how can we use that data to actually extend the experience and provide them maybe customer support or some kind of other detailed content. So for traffic, the good thing about this was that they already had a lot of people coming to their bot organically. I think this is just my insight, but they do a lot of education programs in third world countries or outside of the US. So they get a lot of organic traffic right now. Probably at first when we started the bot, it was all organic, and people were just coming and asking questions. So that was really good initially to start the bot. So for you guys, when you think about your bot, think about, I think there's a couple little hacks that we do right now. Is if you go into the page settings, there's a setting that says, I don't know specifically what it's called, but it's like basically pops open the messenger window when somebody visits your page. And that draws in a lot of attention, because if somebody just comes to your page for the first time, they're going to see your messenger window pop up, and then your bot's right there. So for sure, turn that on. And then also utilizing like your existing organic reach. So if you already have 1 million followers or 500,000 or whatever, then you can use that along with the messenger links to get people to come into your bot. And that's what we did initially. And then you can add it to your website. So we're in the process of adding it to their website where they already get a lot of traffic. So that's another good way to get traffic. And then the biggest thing is Facebook ads right now. So Facebook is really pushing the send to messenger ads. And again, like I said, a lot of you guys have already seen them. Sometimes I just think because the way the platform is, it's very easy to create send a messenger ads right now, but they're not paired with bots. So you would click on this, send a message, it would come into Messenger, and then it has like the canned responses, and then you have to wait for someone to reply to you. I think a lot of us have already seen that. But if you do it correctly, you can click send to Messenger, whatever platform you use. If you're using Smart Loop, we show you how to do it real easily. And it's almost seamless. Like you don't even know that you came into a bot. You're supposed to set the expectations and say it's a bot, but you just click on the button and boom, you're into Facebook Messenger and you can start going through this process. So for them, it was really useful because we're able to use the Facebook ads. We can target maybe people that don't have an education or a higher education right now in certain countries, and we can just, they click the ad and we can send them into a specific part of the bot. So just to touch on the build process, like I said, Smart Loop, we're able to do this in 2 to 3 weeks because we just make it so simple. You don't have to write any code to create these bot dialogues and bot flows. Yeah, we have a point-and-click builder. We have analytics and natural language processing built in. It's multi-channel, so you can deploy it on your website or Facebook Messenger. One-click deployment, so you just click a button on Facebook and it goes. You can do broadcast notifications, and like I said, we just launched live chat, so that's really useful in making sure your customers get the best service that they can, and then use that data to improve it. So you don't have to answer the same questions or do the same things over and over again. So in conclusion, I think Facebook bots or bots in general are really good to do lead generation. It's just clearly defining, okay, what does the user journey look like? What lead qualification steps do I need? And then you can just set it free and it should work for you. Right? So do you guys have any questions based on what I just talked about on maybe how to launch bots or anything that we saw in the whole process? You're good. So we'll bring you the mic.
I think it's really impressive that you deployed that in 3 weeks. I'm wondering how you kept the business requirement gathering process to a minimum, because I know sometimes just figuring out the requirements for the flow takes a long time. Like, were you doing it agile and coming up with a diagram, showing them immediately, getting sign off, and then writing the conversation from there?
Yeah, so that makes it really useful. So you can use like our friends at Bot Copy, Bot Society, and you can really kind of map that out. And the good thing about using a tool like ours is that you don't have to go, you can just make changes on the fly. It's not a huge technical requirement to change some copy or to change a flow. If you see that something needs to be updated, you can just do it in a couple minutes versus, I don't know, a couple hours of the other process. So that was really helpful for us.
I also understand you will be giving a workshop tomorrow from like 9 to 5 that get in more depth and detail. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. Another question. Pre-workshop question. Yes, okay.
Hi, so is it similar to ManyChat or Chatfuel? Is it Smart Loop is similar product with those?
I don't see any of those guys here. So yeah, and we're better actually because we have no.
Speak the truth.
We have natural language processing built in, so you don't have to connect it to any external service. It's not keyword match, and we also give you ability to write code inside of the bot, so you can build some custom features and pull from CRMs and external services very easily. Plus, live chat is really nice now.
Over there. All right. Watch your feet. Ginger coming through.
So the examples you showed, they all were closed entry fields. I was just wondering why that was.
In what part? Like the buttons?
Yeah, it was all UI responses.
Right. So our philosophy is that if I just open this up and I say what degree you're interested in, that just opens it up to a whole plethora of different flows that can happen. So our ideology is that like if I have this question and I can show buttons, then I will restrict you to those buttons because that's all I care about right now. There are some ways you can get out of it, but if you're in this, then like specifically like this, yes or no, like it's really not beneficial to know that you're from Bulgaria and you know English, right? I just want to know yes or no. So we try to restrict people and force people in a nice way to get to where we want them.
Can I force anyone else in a nice way to ask one final question? There you go. Gesundheit.
So you told you have inbuilt NLP. Did you create your own NLP or you used one of the open source NLPs?
Yep, so there's nice guys from Rasa here. They have open source that allow you to use that as well. And we use some Google products as well.
Thank you.
Any other burning questions? Okay, how about you, or do you have any kind of final comments?
Yeah, so...
Looked like you went for the mic there. There you go.
If you're interested in a lead qualification template, you can sign up at smartloop.ai. We have some templates there. If you're interested in more something like this, then feel free to talk to me later, and I can help you come up with something like this as well.
That's all, ladies and gentlemen. That's your cue to clap.